rolling down here. We're rolling down here.
We're rolling. We're ready.
We're rolling everywhere.
Intro music will come in, and then I'll just, I don't know if you can hear it or not, but we'll just go from there. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right. Music will come.
We'll pretend.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the LittleBigKast. This is episode 11. We're super excited for you guys to be here with us today. We're here. 11.
That's like nearly 3 months that we've been together.
That's one more than 10.
Oh, wow.
We should have anniversary presents.
Several more than 9. And I'm feeling pretty good about that. On today's show, we're going to be getting into a couple different things, but we're going to start off, as per usual, with kind of our weekly wrap-up, what we've been doing. So, Drew, I'll let you kick it off, man.
It's been a pretty easy wheezy week for me.
Easy wheezy week.
Yeah, easy wheezy week. Haven't done a whole lot this week. I've pretty much played Flower. Fantastic. We'll talk about that. And I finished the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Okay.
My wife and I, we put
3
in
weeks later.
Yeah, it took every night we watched one disc, so that's good. And that was enjoyable. I slept through the first half of the Return of the King, so I missed the cool stuff where like the ghosts come.
Shame on you.
But other than that, I enjoyed the whole rest of it.
That's a little bit of sacrilege right there.
Out of like 6 discs, I only missed one, and I was really tired. But overall, that was it. I really didn't game a whole lot. Sorry. I did. You know what? I did play 2048 more than usual.
Oh.
I'm
Why?
retarded.
Dude.
I know. I told myself I wasn't going to start. I said I'm not even going to touch it.
I refuse to touch that. Like,
Don't.
Have
It's
you?
retarded.
Have you played it?
Yeah, I have,
Oh,
and
gosh.
I get close, but I don't know. I didn't let it hurt me as much as other people have.
I feel
I
like
don't know what
people-
hurt me. I just. It's like it's. The
I didn't
new
let it
Candy Crush.
consume me.
It's my
Yeah.
Smash Time game.
Smash time.
People have seriously like developed
AKA
problems.
pooping.
Yeah,
Thank you.
You're welcome.
we try to keep it civil here. Hulk says
Well,
it's smashing time. so
Smash.
we roll
There's
let's
lots of
smash.
ways that can be. I just poop.
Okay,
Just poop.
That
So
works.
that's what I've done. Nothing special.
thanks for filling us in on poop time, Drew.
I just did what I did with my game time.
It's fine. It's fine. Rachel, what about you?
Well, I have been busy hanging out with other humans, so I went on another night hike. It was awesome. We got lost for a little bit.
With people.
I know. Other friends my age. It was really nice. I took some
What are you
promotional.
saying?
Nothing at all.
Other friends your age. You kind of
So I took some. Well, because
that
people were like,
point.
"Rachel, what have you done since high school?" And I'm like, "Just hang out with like
I hang out with old
old
guys.
married guys with kids. You know, it's cool. It's no big deal. What have
wrong
you
with
been
that.
doing?" Yeah. So. I took some promotional pictures for my friend Jake. So shout out to Jake Johnson. Check him out. He's a musical artist and he's pretty swell. There
Very
were some
cool.
pretty epic pictures too.
Yeah, I want to see some.
I know. Okay, cool.
I could use some more promotional pictures for myself.
Especially
Oh,
with
if
your
someone
beard.
does not, I know. We need to.
Wait. Can
Whiskers.
Can we interrupt?
Can we
we-
get
No,
it?
carry on.
No, we're not going to make fun of it. I love
That's
the
right.
beard.
You were
Can I
one of the few
interrupt
that
you for
loved
just a
the
second?
beard.
So you were on a local television
Oh,
show
I did.
recently.
I did. So we
Can
jump
you tell
back.
us about that?
I did do a quick hit on a television show called The Geek Report. Super fun show. I mean, it's an exciting kind of broadcast style show. So it's meant to be like for not the hardcore geeks that are getting their stuff online, but kind of the casual geeks that are like, oh, I'll sit and watch this. So it's broadcast TV. I did a segment on there where I talked about E3 and the games that are coming out. I tried to put a little entertainment and humor into it, but this one was like straight up, here's E3, here's all the rumors. And then later in the show, I did a 3D printing hit for White Clouds.
Cool.
That I do some consulting on, and so it was kind of fun to do that. But the host reached over and started tickling my beard because he's a longtime friend, and he was just like, "What's this? You got a little donut left on your face?" Like he totally mocked my beard on TV. I was like, "Come on, it's so you can see it, right? I mean, it's real." Anyway,
If you can see it on a television
right,
screen, then it counts.
It counts.
If you can see it on a 480 TV screen, then it counts as a real
This
man's
is the
beard.
second time in my life that I've had a beard that's actually like visible from 4 feet away. Anyway, so sorry to interrupt. Carry on.
Nope, you're okay. So,
It's a big day for me.
so we played Outlast. That was
Oh,
also
yeah.
another fun day.
Oh, yeah, that
the
was wild.
Whistleblower DLC, and then I also finished season 2 of Doctor Who.
Oh, wow.
Yay!
So you
That's
do
great.
hang out with old men.
So you're a Whovian officially.
I don't think I'm a Whovian because I'm still.
How many seasons do you have to watch before that's what you call yourself?
I don't know. I want to say, with all that's happened, I want to say I know a good because there's like so many different characters, and I'm just like getting past like the first block. So I'm not sure.
Okay,
I think I need to see one more Doctor Who companion before. Which I may have already met her, so I'm not sure. I took a guess, and I think I was wrong about her. But we'll see. We'll see.
All right.
Exciting.
And that's my life. Oh, yeah, and then don't come into my job and order espresso. Because it's espresso.
Espresso.
Oh.
If you put an X in it, what?
Drives me nuts. You get decaf immediately. So,
Say espresso.
guys,
Not
be
only
nice.
Do you get decaf, I poisoned it.
Espresso.
right, be nice to your baristas because
funny.
we have the power to give you decaf.
That's
and we do.
And we carry cyanide capsules in the back.
Right.
Funny. I had one of my few. Like,
Ricin.
I'm such a. I'm an easygoing guy, and so I went into I think it was Einstein's to get some bagels Saturday morning.
Bagel sounds
And,
delicious.
and I told him, I said, I need these 4 bagels, this one and 3 of these with schmear. Because we're in the car, we're driving, Anyway, get down to the checkout. Or no, but before I got to the checkout, she had given me like one of the one kind and then one of the other kind. And I was like, no, I need 3 of the honey whole wheat. 3. So that's 4 total. Like I was trying to like be nice, but I was already getting miffed. And then when I got down, waited for 15 minutes for my bagels, and they came with no schmear. I was like, I said schmear. And the lady like checking me out was like, no, it's not on the ticket. I was like, of course it's not on the ticket, or else it'd be on my bagels. I said smear. Anyway, so I'm a nice, easygoing guy, but I laid it down. I was like, I'm
Good.
sorry. Give me some damn smear. And she's like, well, it costs more. It'd be cheaper if you buy a tub. I'm like, you're going to give it to me for free because I've been here for 10 Go ahead, Jeff.
It's a hard life.
I know.
For such a chill dude, you
I just-
get
I-
extremely
yeah.
passionate about your bagels.
Don't, right?
I just went out in dick mode. I was like, no, I want my smear.
And everyone was
kids
like,
in the car.
who is this guy?
Yeah.
Who is it? I got kids here.
It's the beard.
I got kids here, beard man.
It's changing you completely. That's what
Yeah.
it is.
I'm okay with that.
Beards boost testosterone. Testosterone leads to more anger.
okay
Anger
with that.
leads to violence.
I've been a pansy too long. Too long have I laid.
Look
in
at
The
this.
slippery
It's like a
slope
whole new
fallacy,
Drew
but
right
that's-
now.
He's living a real life slippery slope fallacy.
Can this be ManDrew?
Andrew.
Anyway,
Jeff, what have you been doing?
me. I played a little bit of Flower. I'd already played through Flower, so I just kind of rehashed it to get a feel for kind of what we were doing. So that
You
we
play
could, we could
PS4
discuss
or
it.
on the
I played it
PS3?
on the PS4. So the first time that I played
Oh.
through the whole thing, I played through on the PS3, and I really, really enjoyed it. Jumping to the PS4 was, man, it just, like, as beautiful as the game was and as wonderful
enjoyable.
as you felt playing that game, like, it just, everything is better on the PS4. Visual, we'll get into it.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that sounds like a
We'll
nice
talk about
like,
it.
motto.
Yeah.
Everything is better on this side.
Outlast, Whistleblower DLC.
Man,
that was crazy.
That was good.
That was good.
That was
That
really
was a
good.
lot of
I
fun.
did enjoy
Hopefully
it.
you joined us for a live stream.
We had a lot of people on the live stream, but if you didn't join us, we're going to have some highlights up soon that you can watch us all jump and
Yeah, it was
grab each other. Just
It was fantastic. So like I felt like I didn't feel like it had as many jump scares as the original, but
but it made
the
up for
story was much creepier.
Yeah,
I felt like
yeah.
from beginning to I feel like it told a better story from beginning to end, and I loved that the whole thing kind of takes, so spoiler alert, even though it shouldn't really be a spoiler, but the whole thing kind of takes place at the same time as the original story
Yeah,
does, which
yeah.
I thought was awesome. Because, I mean, after you get that original document in the first Outlast where it's like, hey, these bad things are happening, I figured the dude was long gone.
yeah.
That's
figured
what I
like,
figured as well.
Dead with his member severed.
I never thought, like, I guess what I imagined the DLC being is you're in there doing your job and you're seeing bad things happen.
And you're just
so
trying
you
to
write up this
survive.
report.
Yeah, You blow
What
up
ends up happening is you get caught as you're sending this file out to the journalist, and you are put into the asylum, like you're committed. So I loved the way that it tied the two stories together, and I loved the ending. I was so glad that it ended the way that it did,
Yeah,
and
it was
not
cool.
the way that the first one, like, it was not similar at all to the first one in the way that it ended, and I was really grateful for that because I hated it. Outside of that, I've been, well, as of yesterday, I have been back into Starcraft. And
dun.
apparently that's like a
Like the
game-
original StarCraft.
No, this is StarCraft 2.
Oh, it is too. Okay.
So apparently this is something that our kind of sponsor guy KT struggles with is
He's awake. He's awake and watching.
a
Right now.
slight
is.
StarCraft addiction. So if you're out there, KT, and you have, so I've heard that you haven't played StarCraft 2. So I'm going to call you out and just say, I bet I could take you in StarCraft 2
I don't know.
because you haven't played with some of these units. And I think
It's like
I
asking
think,
a guy who's been addicted to crack to be like, "Hey, let's just freebase it." I mean,
you know what?
What's
But
one
isn't there
line?
something-
What's
Isn't
one
there
line?
something kind of intriguing about watching a car accident?
Yeah.
Like,
I want to
I'm
see
just
it
saying,
roll
I think I could take
twice.
he calls it a major addiction, by the way.
so outside of StarCraft, which StarCraft by its nature is addicting. I spent 6 hours playing it yesterday when I should have been
cannot
doing
believe
other
that.
stuff. Like I just,
Why
and I totally.
I
Wait a
don't
minute.
want to play
I'm worried
it.
about one thing. When you have 30 days alone to yourself,
It's not
do we need
good.
to come over and feed the kids? I mean,
Like,
I mean, I can't believe you found 6
Oliver,
hours.
are you okay?
So I didn't even realize that much time had elapsed, and I was sitting in
That's what it does to you.
I was sitting in the editing room, and I was playing, and I beat a level, and I looked up, and it was like 5:25, and I have a 5:30 class, and I was like, holy sh! Wow! And I was like, close, I gotta run. And fortunately, I ran into someone from my class on the way to class because the class was actually being held in the library.
Nice.
So I would have full out like shown up at the wrong room. I would have thought class was canceled. I would have lost points. It would have been a bad deal. So fortunately, that didn't happen.
you kill me.
Anyway, still playing Child of Light. That game is amazing. I highly recommend it. Also, I watched The Fantastic Fear of Everything. Have you guys heard of or
Never
seen
heard
this?
of it.
Fear of everything?
The Fantastic Fear of Everything. It's
Not Führer, because that's
No.
different. No.
it is a film that Simon Pegg stars in.
I love Simon
And it
Pegg.
is absolutely awesome. It is
Cool.
hilarious. It's a fantastic film about a fantastic fear of everything.
I'm interested.
It's basically about an author who decides that he's going to write a screenplay for a show that basically chronicles the murders that were happening in the 19th century Britain. And so by studying the serial killers and the things that they're doing, he starts to become convinced that a serial killer is stalking him. And so he becomes super neurotic, super paranoid everywhere he goes. And it's Simon Pegg, so it's both kind of creepy and very, very funny.
Interesting.
Yeah, definitely worth watching. I watched Spider-Man. Dude, I did a lot of stuff. I watched Spider-Man. Spider-Man was awesome. I almost cried. That show,
Right,
that
though?
show has the feels, man. That was
Beautiful.
like
So beautiful.
that show has some sad points. But my favorite part of Spider-Man was the trailer for 1,000 Ways to Die in the West.
Right.
Because Doc Brown from Back to the Future is in it with a DeLorean. And I was like,
Nice.
this is perfect. Like it
You've got to watch that.
like kind of made my week. I can't stop thinking about how cool that scene was. Like I wish they would do things like that. Like how fun that they would take like this old classic beloved movie and throw it in there. Anyway, I wanted to ask you guys before we moved on, like how much do you guys care about trailers? Because I'm kind of a trailer junkie. If I'm not on time for the trailers of a movie,
Really?
I'm pissed.
Really?
Like for real.
I
I
try
do
to
not
miss
like
them.
missing
I try to
trailers.
miss them.
I like the trailers. I like the trailers a lot. I feel like they can. I judge a movie like solely on the trailer.
What?
Just like how the music's picked, how it's cut, which scenes they pick, just like
I agree.
all of it. And
No, I
plus,
try and avoid them.
I feel like some trailers can. Once the trailer gives up like the whole movie, I don't see the movie. So
Yep.
it's like I don't know. I judge them. I judge them harshly.
I don't go to movies. I don't watch movies. I don't go to movies. I see like one a year in the theater, maybe two. And for the last 6 years, that's been The Hobbits and the, you know what I mean, like and maybe a little Harry Potter. So I really I don't do that much. I did yeah, Frozen like 3 times. Yeah, I did watch a couple and I do watch a few and be like, ooh, that'd be interesting, that'd be fun. But I'm not so into it that I go, I'll be there on opening night or the first week. I usually look at it and go, I'll pick that up at the Redbox or wait for Netflix.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm way too busy. I'm still
This guy.
Yeah, I can't believe you had 6 hours to yourself.
Yeah, I was supposed to be doing homework.
Yeah, okay.
Welcome back, procrastination.
Yeah. Anyway, I also felt like I needed to kind of legitimize myself as a nerd. I've never watched Firefly,
Oh,
and apparently that's kind of a sacrilege.
if you're, yeah,
That's what
pretty
I've heard as
hardcore.
well.
Yeah.
So I'm 3 episodes in now. Like I've seen Serenity. I liked Serenity. I thought that was great. So far, Firefly, 3 episodes in, I'm like, Serenity was better so far.
I have a fun story about Firefly. I was with these 2 people, and one was like hardcore nerd. Like
Older married guys?
No, he was my age. He was younger than me actually, and he had a very large crush on me. Anyways, but he wanted to get necklaces, like little portal necklaces for
matching necklaces for the 2 of you?
No, it was like a portal, like the
Like the game
blue
portal,
one and
blue
then
and
red. The portal. Yeah.
So he thought he was kind of weird. Anyway, so he was a huge Firefly fan.
I love flan.
Firefly fan. Oh, I did it again.
It's okay.
Firefly fan.
Perfect.
Okay. And I had another friend with me, and we decided to go laser tagging together. And my friend had asked my other friend, the nerdy one, was like, "Hey, do you like Firefly?" And then my other friend responded, this was a casual dick pic, actually.
Oh, yes. Hey.
Yeah.
And he was
What's
like, he said, "No, I really didn't like the show." And then the jaw was dropped. You could see, like, his eyes becoming demonic. He was like, "I want to see your entrails hanging across that telephone wire."
He became a reaver?
I have no idea,
All of a
but it was
sudden.
just, "I want to see your entrails hanging from a
And he said that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, my friend looked at me, he's like, "I'm never going laser tagging with your nerd friends again." I'm
It
like,
takes a lot.
"Whoa."
It takes a special kind of person to make casual dick pic
Oh man,
uncomfortable.
it was, and after that, it was just awkward the rest of the time.
Wow.
Shout out, by the
Yeah,
way.
I'm sure. That's insane. That it would be
Entrails.
that
So
intense.
be careful with who you
Right.
don't like Firefly to.
Right.
That's hilarious. Anyway, that was my week, and
What a week we've had.
yeah, that's a busy week.
I know.
Talked a lot on that one, so I'm going to lock it up for a
The
minute
usual.
and pass it over to Drew if that works for you.
Let's do it.
Let's
Let's
do
do
it.
news. All right, so easy news this week. We've got 5 good ones for you. The first one we've got is an interesting little bit from Watch Dogs. The Watch Dogs was confirmed 1080p, 60 frames per second. This is the hack through Chicago's underground as you experience it in a way that only the PS4 can provide. But yet, it was confirmed and then unconfirmed.
Unconfirmed.
Deconfirmed.
Yeah,
Break
so
it
it's
down
kinda
for us,
weird.
Jeff.
So basically on PlayStation.com, PlayStation.com for Watch Dogs right now has a whole like very, very cool site set up for the game that breaks down like the story, the lighting, the music, the sounds of Chicago, all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Big
And
setup.
initially, the first thing that you saw when you pulled this page up was that quote that hack through Chicago's underground as you experience Watch Dogs in the way only PS4 can provide, 60 frames per second, 1080p. That has since been removed. So that was there initially for like a week, and then it got pulled, and now it just says that PS4 will be the premier graphics,
Right.
whatever, for the consoles. So I don't know if that means that it will not have 60. I imagine that probably they couldn't hit the 60 frames a second. I think we'll see 1080p. I think we'll probably see it jump probably running similar to Infamous, where it jumps kind of between 30 and 60 as it can.
As
so
it can.
in the moments of the game where it can handle it, it's going to be at 60. In the moments where there's a lot of stuff going on, it's probably going to bump down to 30. Personally, I don't have a problem with that at all.
It'll be fun. Interactivity.
And if
all
that's
that.
the case,
Yeah.
like, just say it. It's not a big deal. The reality is that on the Xbox, it's probably going to be 960. It's definitely going to be 30 frames per second. The reality is that it is going to look best on the PS4, and that's
that's
kind of at this point in the console wars, that's kind of just expected.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. All right, number 2. This one I think was really interesting. This one is the big news that the little light bar on the front of the PS4 controller was there on purpose the whole time.
What?
It wasn't just something they were like, oh, this would be
Let's
cool.
toss this in there.
So this is Project Morpheus, was built into the PS4 from the start. They just couldn't say anything. So when there was complaining about the reflection of the light and how now you can dim it, but all they were complaining on the early mentions of that light bar, nobody really connected that with Project Morpheus. They just kept saying, "What's this? What's this?" And then recently they came out and said, "No, that was part of it from the beginning. We just couldn't say anything. It's a part of how we do motion control." That is pretty cool.
I think it's
I'm
pretty
pretty
cool. I always liked the light bar, because an example in Outlast is whenever you die, it would turn red.
And when
then
you
just,
turn on your night vision, it would
it would
turn
go
green.
green. I thought
that's
it was
just cool.
I
That's
thought it
staying
was cool. So just how it was, but I like lights and shiny things. So typically,
Yeah.
No, I think very cool. it's almost funny now to look back on the complaints that were coming out. Like, this has no purpose. This is so stupid. And I kind of just imagine the developers just kind of snickering and being like, "Oh, you guys will see.
Yeah,
this is
right.
gonna be cool."
Right, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's very
It's
bad.
good.
So yeah, hopefully
Very cool.
hopefully it all comes together and is something that's really awesome.
Now here's something that's not so awesome. This one is I totally forgot what I put on the graphics, and I can't see the playback, so I don't know what the graphics say. But this is the number 3 of the news stories. Elder Scrolls Online, which has been out for almost a month now on the PCs, the console version has been delayed by 6 months plus.
Sace.
Sad but true. They wanted to get everything working. They had hoped to launch it this month, right? I mean, we had been talking about
Yeah.
it. Sadly, it's going to be delayed for 6 months on the console. They did talk about giving people the option if they signed up and they got on the PC version and they played now, like they got into it, they'd be able to transfer their character over.
Oh, cool.
Like so you'd be able to move from one place to the next. And I believe there was like you would get a free month, and it was like a $20 game when you picked it up on your console. Like it was there's some benefits of I guess, what do you call them, like
Crossing over.
yeah, if you jump from one to the other. So it was like mercy points, pity point, kind of like, sorry, it's going to be another 6 months before we get it right. But
if you want to play, we're
get
gonna
into
make
it now.
easier
Yeah,
to
get into it now,
and then get
and
on
then
it
come
later.
over. Yeah.
Cool.
And then anything to say on that? You good, cool. I don't know. I don't think any of us we're not MMO folks.
No, not really.
It's kind of like if I started, I don't think that I'd be able to do anything else. One of those
Yeah.
addiction things. So
See,
I
I
would
stray
just
away from
watch.
those.
Yeah,
I
I'll
can't.
just
That's why I can't
watch
do
from
PCs
afar.
either, just because I know, man.
My game
I
is
know.
like Flower, where I've got like 10 minutes while the kids are outside. Like,
Right.
before I have to go check and see if anyone's dead, I'm going to play 10 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah,
You'll hear. I'll be
definitely.
in the news someday.
I would just say this, like, and Rachel, I think, would agree with me that if it's like, if there's something broken, fix it before you release it. Like, and probably we would all. I mean, that's something we could all probably agree with. There's nothing more frustrating than a game being shipped and it's broken.
Right.
Something doesn't work correctly, even though it went gold, it's certified finished. It's broken.
Right.
Take the 6 months,
Yep.
fix it,
Yep.
and put out the game that you want to put out. Put out something you can be proud of.
This one's been waited on for so long. I
Right.
mean, even before Skyrim.
But
the
Watch Dogs
rumors-
is a great example of that, right? Like, Watch Dogs was supposed to come out in November. It got delayed
Yeah,
6 months, and
At least,
now
yeah.
we're getting a better game. And what I would love to be able to hear, like, in November, this is where we were at. This is what we felt like needed to be improved. I would love to have that, be able to
Something
hear that
like that.
conversation,
Yeah.
or see what it was that they didn't feel like was up to par, as opposed to what it is now today. Because I think Watch Dogs looks amazing.
Yeah.
So
we should
if
do
6
some
months
live plays of that one.
if 6 months changes
Think
things, I think
Cool. Yeah, all for it. All for it. So we'll see what happens in 6 months on that, but you can get started now. All right, news package number 4. This one's called Huge Leak. I'm taking a huge leak. This is Sony E3. All their plans were revealed or leaked, or so they say. So I'm trying to remember. DualShockers, I think, had the full list of this, like what Sony plans to announce. This actually came out right after we had taped our last show, so this is probably a little old news for some folks.
Previous breaking news.
But if you look at some of those rumors, you guys have looked through them. What are some of the rumors that you think are definite, and what are you thinking that are like still like never gonna happen? Because it is like it's almost like somebody got the leak and then put in a bunch of craps to like fill it full of fluff that's never gonna happen.
yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. Do you want to go first, Rachel? You want me to go
Go
first?
for it.
Okay,
Mine's
so
just stupid.
So
My ideas are
the
trash.
big ones are the Uncharted for the PS4. It says this is going to be a 3-minute trailer showcasing in-engine footage interspersed with gameplay segments.
Seems real enough to me.
Visuals are supposedly unprecedented and set a benchmark for console graphics. If that's true, obviously Naughty Dog will be the one to set some kind of visual benchmark in
yeah.
modern console gaming. So I think that's
Legit.
honestly, I think that one almost has to happen with all the things that have happened at Naughty Dog over the last 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
They have to be able to show that they've made progress. They have to be able to show that
Maybe this is all the
something
stuff
is
that,
happening.
that team did before they jumped ship. So
And
now,
that could be.
right here.
That
Let's
could
show them
be.
what happened. That was good, and now nobody's here. I don't know, but it's still not set to release for another year.
At least,
Right? It was just-
it very easily could end up being a 2016 release, especially when you lose your main villain, your art director. It wouldn't surprise me if it was a 2016 release, but I don't think they can afford not to show something. because of all of the, the rumors that have started, the conversations that are being had about it. I think the Guerrilla Games bringing an RPG to E3 is really interesting. As we discussed before, I think last week we talked about Guerrilla Games' new IP coming out and how all they've ever made is shooters.
Strange.
I think
Maybe
an RPG would be cool.
I was gonna say maybe it'll still be a shooter, just third person.
Yeah,
pretty much, not first.
I'm all for RPGs. That's my favorite kind of genre of games, whether it's a shooter RPG or a fantasy RPG. I like the choices that are involved in an RPG. So, yeah, those are the two that I'm really excited about.
So the ones I don't think there's gonna be a God of War 4 teaser trailer. I think they're gonna hold that off way longer because who doesn't love them some Kratos? So.
So you don't think they'll show a teaser?
I don't think they're going to show a teaser trailer. I think they're going to hold that off more because I feel like with God of War they would, because we know there's going to be a 4 and that's all we know, but I feel like there needs to be more rumors before the teaser comes out. There needs to be more about the backstory, but we'll see. Also, Sony London will be there at E3 for the first time, and they haven't done anything in a while.
Long time.
I know, so that'll be kind of cool. Maybe Harry Potter or...
Yeah, Sony London Harry Potter.
Yeah.
No, there's a lot of them. When I did my segment on that Geek Report show, I ran down all these rumors, and I basically just said, if it's got a number behind it, you just add another number, and we'll see something about it.
Probably.
Including Land Before Time 29.
Right.
Very cool.
So that's the...
Littlefoot's still alive.
Still looking. So that's one of the exciting things. There's a lot of rumors. In fact, if you haven't looked at it, look it up on Dual Shockers. There's a whole list of what the plans will be, and we'd love to hear your take.
I hate surprises, so I prefer rumors. I love getting the information as early as possible and just kind of stewing over it.
And saying
they just make me anxious. That's how I feel even about the Kingdom Hearts 3 one, just because it's been
wouldn't it be
for
nice,
so
though?
long.
There's no way.
No, it's coming. That's coming.
I know, but
It is, but
yeah. The reason it's
stop.
been so long is because somebody that loved Kingdom
Right?
Hearts was like, "Hey, we're gonna get it 3," and then they were like, "Okay, somebody wants it, I'll make it."
Jerks.
All right, last one, number 5. This one we call cross-platform Titan.
Eee!
Titanfall was up and running on the PS4, according to the Sixth Axis. Somebody made it happen, but it wasn't like released or anything. It was just like a hack job to say like it can be done. And then the article I think was somebody just kind of pontificating and saying...
Pontificating?
Yeah, I use big words.
Wow.
It was somebody just kind of thinking about it and saying, okay, if this were me and I were Microsoft and I made this deal with EA early on with that kind of exclusivity with the Xbox One and things were going the way that they were going, then I would build in these clauses in my contract so that if sales were this far off, which they're pretty far off, then I would be able to recoup some of my money by opening it up to the other platforms. So it was somebody just kind of, again, rumoring and hoping that maybe there's a way for it to come across. But that kind of was spawned off of somebody actually saying that they've seen it up and running, so it works.
Crazy.
So that came from one of the Respawn devs, and which was just a tweet saying it's up and running on the PS4.
Whether that's going to be released or we'll ever see it. Or
is a whole nother story. But it's important to understand too that Titanfall wasn't initially Respawn didn't know it was an exclusive. That was a deal that was made between EA and Microsoft without telling Respawn about it.
Right.
That's crazy. And so it makes sense that they probably did.
They probably developed it.
80, 90, maybe even 100% of the development time into building the framework for the game on the PlayStation platform.
Yep.
And if that's the case,
it's there.
Man, what a waste of time and money and resources to build that architecture and put that all together so that it would be bought out last second. I don't know, Rachel?
I think if Titanfall comes to the PS4, I will probably buy one, most definitely, because you're the military shooter, but I'm stoked for Destiny. I'm stoked for...
Destiny looks awesome.
I know. I was Halo over Call of Duty always, but so I'm thinking if... I want to play Titanfall so bad. And I saw people playing it at the Comic-Con, and I've seen people play it other people's houses, and
You saw it at the Totally Awesome Computers thing, right?
Yep,
At Comic-Con?
that's
yeah,
where
that
they're all
awesome.
just... I wanted to play it so badly. It looks
It's just
so
a
rad.
fast game.
You're a giant, but a fast giant robot.
Fast giant robot.
You're
Sounds
not
good.
right. I think that will be my console seller if that comes out. So Sony,
Cool. Awesome.
you do that.
It's probably true. All right,
Right?
that's it. That's all I got for the news.
Very cool. So, yeah, we'll just kick it straight over to Rachel then. Is that cool?
That's cool for me.
Here comes your releases.
Awesome. So some new releases coming up are going to be, there's really not a whole ton that I saw. May 13th, it's Series, May 13th is Series Sam 3, BFE.
Is that today?
Yep.
That's today.
Yep.
It's out.
From Dissolver Digital, and it just looked like a really weird nothing worth. Okay, and then May 20th is Mugen Soul Z, Wolfenstein The New Order,
Yay.
Transistor, also Sparkle 2. That's cool. And then May 21st is Drakengard 3. May 27th is Watch Dogs and Ace Combat Infinity. And then
For some reason I see Ace Combat Infinity and I think of Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, something that's like, what's he doing with it?
It's Ace flying in
Yeah.
an F-16.
Neat.
So then we jump into June, and I can't believe it's already like a third away with
Yeah.
May. So yeah, June
Wow.
3rd, it's going to be Murdered Soul Suspect, and it looks like a horror game that Square Enix has done. So
Wait, did you say Watch Dogs yet?
yeah, I did, May 27th.
I was just spacing out. I'm so excited for
So
Watch
yeah,
Dogs.
I know.
I'm also excited for Wolfenstein against kind of my better. I feel like I shouldn't be excited for Wolfenstein, but Bethesda's making it, and the trailer looked so good that I think it might end up being really good. It's killing
That's
Nazis,
it?
You'll
man.
see.
I dig it.
Awesome.
Anyway,
Awesome.
We don't care, Jeff. I'm kidding.
we don't give a crap.
Thanks
I'm
for
so
playing.
excited for Sparkle 2. Is that better, Rachel?
Yes.
Is that better?
Lots of glitter, please.
Particle
Awesome.
two.
Well, so that's the new releases. We did just finish playing an indie game Friday, Outlast
did.
Whistleblower.
Some
But
Dulce.
Yep.
we had a different indie game of the week.
We did.
Rachel, why don't you tell us about it?
Let's do that one. So are we, do I have a song for that?
Do we have a song for an indie release? Oh, yeah, it goes like this. The indie game.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that's the Drew's
Indie game of
special.
the week. Indie game of the week. Yeah.
So our indie game of the week was Flower. That's for real. I like that.
You guys are awesome.
The developers were That Game Company, who also did Journey. There are very
Bravo.
similar aspects that I noticed.
Mm-hmm.
The composers were Vincent Diamante, and the controls are pretty simple. You use the X button to like push yourself, or use the wind to travel, and then you tilt the controller like left or right or up or down.
My kids had the hardest time doing that, by the way.
Dude, it was a struggle.
Because I kept seeing my little girl like playing with a thumbstick. I was like, this one's different.
It's it,
You
right?
just they didn't. That's weird to them.
What's funny is like I feel like I grew up playing games where I didn't have to move the controller, but every game I was like,
But you're still moving, right?
Move,
Yeah,
move.
yeah.
Like
Like
that
when you
seems
go-
so natural, but now
yeah,
having played so many games that don't use that, it takes a minute to get used to like
This is
push,
yeah.
go
Right.
left,
Yep.
go right, like it.
There's something zen about that
Yeah.
now.
It was. So it's like, it was, because I have the Xbox, and the Xbox's controller has doesn't have any of that. So it was really cool when I first used that with the PS3 controller, because I don't even remember what game it was, but it was like, shake the controller to break free. I thought that was cool. But as like Jeff and I were saying, so it's like you move, and it would be easier with a thumbstick, we think, like just to like travel. Because I definitely had some hard times like going back. Like I would be in the zone, and then I would just miss one. So I'd
Yes.
have to
It would take
go all the way back
forever.
around.
I
But
heard
it's
on
like-
PS4 that's easier though.
Yeah, that's what I imagined, because I played it on the PS3. So, but yeah, so there about the wind. Like, there's something about the reason why is because I wish we should live stream it, because we all look ridiculous. I'm going this way. I was getting so into it, all for a flower, and I felt like a giant idiot. But it's like the reason why they did that, I'm assuming, was because like they want you to feel like you're the wind. So it would be, like I said, it would be cool if you just use the analog stick, but it's like
Then
when
you
you're
wouldn't feel so windy.
right, you wouldn't feel like you are a pedal. So I loved it. I thought the controls were really creative and cool. And they were simple. There was only, that's all you do. No other buttons.
And the story was again simple, like
Oh, yeah.
like Journey, like
Okay,
so
so
easy.
the story is about 6 flowers that sit in pots on a windowsill, and I'm not sure if they're dreaming or telling their story or whatever flowers do, but
They drink water and make
I know,
air.
right? So they start off unbloomed, and then you like become a flower. You start off as one single flower petal, and then you go on this journey collecting other flower petals, and every time you touch a flower, it blooms, and you take a petal, and it just adds on to like your party of flower blooms. So the more flowers you bloom, the more petals you have in your tornado, and once you finish that level, it pans out back to the windowsill, and the flower blooms, and then there's another pot, and you get to do that flower. So I believe there are 6 flowers. You get to 6 levels, and it was just a beautiful game, I think.
trying to remember how
Holy
many I
cow.
saw. 1, 2. And they were in colors. If you looked at them like lined up on the windowsill, it was almost like a rainbow because it was like the red, orange,
Right,
yellow.
and that was cool too because like
purple.
the grass, it started like the first level it was green, but then in the third level the grass was like a blue purple.
That one was cool. I love the sparkle on that.
Oh, it was so cool.
And
Yeah.
so you'd like follow the sparkles around instead of trying to hit.
It's almost like you were
Right.
moving through like the ocean.
Yes.
Like, to me,
It's
is kind of
really
how I
because
felt like.
that's like how they made
Or through
the
the stars
grass.
almost. It almost felt like you were going through the stars, like the way they sparkled, and when you hit leaves and petals,
was-
like it would ripple out.
Right.
There's one of the, like each level, like the first and second level, kind of similar. It's like, okay, find the flower patches, light them up, make things colored, and that's because I watched my girls play some of that first and 2nd level, and it was just like, this is how you drive. Now blow the wind and capture the petals. And it was fun to come back 10 minutes later, and she had 40 or 50 petals, and I was like, you're doing it, Peter. So that was fun. And then I let her play the 5th level, where you're lighting up light bulbs. So you're doing a couple of flowers, and then if you get the right group, it lights these light poles with lamps, and to get to the next thing. But there's also a way to lose all your petals, like to die, and I
You
didn't
get
realize that.
electrocuted.
Yeah, so I handed it to her, and she just kept running into like everything that's on the ground, and you've got to kind of like almost like blow in and sneak in and grab a couple of flowers and come back out, and she just get in and just I don't know. It's still zen, but it'd be like, okay, start with more petals, go get more petals. But
Right.
that was a lot of fun. I loved how they had kind of incrementally changed each level.
Right.
So did either of you finish it?
I got to the
didn't.
5th. I'm still in the 5th.
I got no.
Cool. So, yeah, basically, I mean,
Is it
the
Journey
main
esque
idea.
where it's like you're done, but you're not really done? It's just kind of like
Yeah, get the green flowers.
The idea of the game is that you're bringing life kind of back to that broken down city that you start in. So you start the game seeing this kind of dead city where things are moving, like people are alive, but there's no
Very
life.
gray, right.
Like, so people are alive, there's no life, there's no color, there's no emotion. It doesn't feel like it feels emotion unless it feels dead in that respect. And so at the end of, I don't know, I don't want to spoil the end of the game, but the idea is that you're bringing life back to the city. And so, like Drew mentioned with the electricity, like
You lighten it back
you're
up.
lighting these posts as you go along. One of my favorite parts of the game was the windmills.
oh yeah.
So the level where you had
number
windmills and
3.
like
Was that 3?
just blasting, like how fast you would move. Like
Like getting a goalie.
it
and
kind of was a rush. Like
Yeah.
You
it's
hit the
such a
canyons, yeah.
it's such a funny way to think about a game like this because it is so simple and it's supposed to be beautiful and it's supposed to be kind of, for lack of a better word, like captivating, right? But it also at times was really exciting, like cruising through these canyons and popping out to the these giant windmills. I loved it. I think it's a fantastic game.
No, I think it's great, and I think one thing that the game company does so well is that they can pull off making these games without any dialogue, without
Yes.
any
Yep.
captions,
Yes.
no words at all, just music and just sounds. And it was so cool because every flower you bloomed, it would make like a sound, and if you got a collection of flowers, like each flower was almost like a note, and so it was
Yeah.
like if you get 7 in a row, you like get a scale, and it was
Yes.
just like the little things that are just so rad.
They're very good at the subtle parts of what make a game really fantastic and really
it's
unique.
awesome. So I definitely recommend it, and it was $6.99 or $7, I believe, on PS Network.
I think there's a bundle out there too you can get for that game company. Like there's
So if you buy it, it's cross-gen. So it'll go with you to Vita. It'll go with
Right.
you to.
but you can get it with Journey and some other. Like there is a
Yeah,
theme bundle and a full game.
It's
bundle.
Journey, Flower, and they have one other game that I haven't
I
played.
just forgot what it was too.
Probably will eventually.
Yeah, it's whatever.
So yeah, I say that was cool. Plus, it's like just I don't know, like I didn't beat it in one sitting, but I feel like I can go back to it.
Yeah, there's like secrets on each level if you want to find
There
And
are
it.
it
green
kind of
flowers.
doesn't it kind of feel like an escape too? Like it feels like one of those
Yes.
games where it's like, man, I've had a really tough day.
just wanna
I
blow in
either
some wind.
default to like
The
I
ni-
want to
yeah.
blow stuff up and shoot things, or I just want to go. I want to be somewhere where the world feels
where the people are.
calm. You
Yeah,
know,
no, it was
where-
good.
So, Drew's got 3 little girls.
I can tell. No, my wife fell asleep the night that she fell asleep. She was just.
It was
she
Little Mermaid night.
No, she was so tired. I was like, you know what? I'll just play the indie game.
Yeah.
And so I actually turned it up and played it nice and slow, and it was like lulling I almost fell asleep. But
And then
it
you
was
watched
nice.
The Little Mermaid.
Yeah, I did. I was like,
No.
okay, honey, you sleep. Ariel and I have a date.
What's
So
up, Flounder?
I mean, for me, it's kind of a must-have. I think
Yeah.
this game
I think
is
so.
one that you need to own.
And as these guys said, you can play it with your little kiddos.
Yeah.
Totally.
And let
Yeah,
them.
and not worry about them like falling off the world or
Right.
Right. There's literally nothing they can do wrong.
Right,
You put them in the
right.
world, and they run into a wind wall that pushes them up in the air
And
and,
they
back
keep-
into the direction they need to go.
Yep. Awesome.
Very cool. So
Rightio.
whose turn is it then to choose? Is it Drew's turn
It's your
again,
turn.
or is it mine?
It's yours.
It's my turn.
Yeah. Please pick another zombie game, please.
Don't worry, my next pick will be a zombie
Is it?
game.
Okay.
So don't you worry.
So my game. You guys ready for this?
I'm
This is
ready.
gonna be a
Yes.
fun one.
I'm ready.
This is gonna be a fun one. Guacamelee.
Ah, yes.
We're gonna
Okay.
play Guacamelee.
I actually grabbed it the other week because I knew it was coming.
that game is
I haven't played it yet.
Incredible.
It's
I haven't either. It's a great name, though.
incredible.
Okay.
It's funny. It's really funny. I mean, you play as a luchador who's been brought back from the dead, and actually you were a
That right
farmer.
there is the great story.
You were a farmer, and the woman you love gets kidnapped by a skeleton, and you are blessed by the luchador gods with a divine luchador mask, and you become the luchador king.
I'm all
and
for it.
you,
Yeah.
yeah, it's awesome. I'm really excited because I only played through like 10 minutes, and then we started our indie game stuff, and so
Right.
I didn't get to play any more than that.
All right, well, that's what I'm doing.
But
When I find my next 6-hour block where I'm supposed to be doing homework, I'm going to play.
Right.
You'll love it. It's so
Indie
fun.
game.
It is like it's so over the top, and it has such a fantastic kind of Mexican flair to it that like I mean the
Yay.
music and
My inner roots.
the colors like it's fantastic. So I'm really excited for us to get into this.
All
Hey,
right.
so play it with us as well, Guacamelee. So just pick it up and
Please do, and let
we'll
us know
play
what you guys
together.
think. Also, before we move on, I'm gonna pull up.
We got 20.
Actually-
we got 20 minutes left of our show. Can you believe
Look
this?
at
This is
us,
great.
guys.
Do we have 20? Did we start at?
Well, we got
40 after?
18.
Sorry. Yeah.
You got
So
18.
and so.
We might have to wrap a few minutes early because I got to visit my grandma.
That's right. 'cause
Remember
there's-
how I'm a bad grandson?
So
make it
Jeff
up.
Not this week.
forgot to thank his grandma for
Don't-
some.
Yeah, you can.
He-
you deserve
uh-huh.
it.
Well, let's just say
After
Jeff
what
got
happened last-
bad grandson of the week award. I'm
Yeah.
just
He's
with
gonna
that.
fix it though. He's gonna fix it.
I know. Hopefully, we'll see. Are you going to lunch with her?
Um,
Isn't that cool?
I'm taking her lunch.
Oh, that's so
Oh,
nice.
that's sweet.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
So I got of my flower tornado is what I like to call it. I just
Which
got these
was awesome.
huge ones, and they were so because I would turn around to go.
Being the completionist, I bet you picked up
That
every
that's why I
single
struggled so
flower.
hard. Oh man, I wanted every single
Every
green one.
single
I wanted to
flower.
bloom them all, and I didn't know that was a thing in the first one. And then I found like a green one hidden behind a rock, and I was like, "You got a secret flower," and I was like, "No." And then I was like reading how to get them. It was like bloom every flower in the first level. There's like a bunch of them, but they're all scattered. They're not a trail. They're
Everywhere.
you have to cover the whole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so
you did.
I
I'm sure you
tried.
So, getting into our topic for the
Let's do
week.
it. Ready.
The first topic I want to talk about was actually one of the rumors in the news. It was,
The
does
PS4?
Titanfall coming to PS4, like Titanfall 1, does that matter anymore? Is that something
think
that
it
is
matters.
relevant? Is it something that's a big deal?
I think it matters.
Okay, why?
So for me, I think it matters because it does a number of things. Obviously, like you were saying, this would get you to buy the PS4 sooner, right? Even if it was 4 or 5 months from now, if we saw a Titanfall 1 coming to PS4, I think that you would see a lot of people just getting there. The reason why is because I think there's enough people on the PS4 or PS bandwagon that they aren't jumping over to the Xbox One for this one title.
Right.
It's not worth the $600 or whatever it is to get a whole new console to play a game. So I would say that the sales would be there, and that you would see the energy. You'd see it happen. Secondly, though, I think that it's a good idea, and I think anyone cares because just in the business scope, to see an exclusive game get unexclusived, depending on how quickly that
Yeah,
could
that's true.
happen, I think in the business world that would be like a precedence that could be set for many others to just be like, hey, listen, if this doesn't go, we're pulling a Titanfall. Just letting you know. You know what I mean?
Pulling a Titanfall.
There's
Yes.
something there. To me, there's something there. Again, rumor, but I would not be surprised.
You know, it was a console seller for the Xbox One. Like, that's what every Sony person or everyone who bought a PS4, that's what they're saying. Like, the one game I want to
right.
play on Xbox One is Titanfall.
it's true.
But
So
we-
if it's going to be a console seller for Microsoft, then it'll definitely be a console seller for PS4, and maybe they'll do a bundle and knock off $100.
Hey, That's what
Let's
I was
just do a
waiting for.
That'd be
copycat.
crazy.
That's right. Watch for our Patreon. That's how we're all going to get our upgraded systems.
So
Right.
I actually put this question out on Twitter, and we got a couple people to respond to us. So shout out number one to Robin Hazlett.
Yes, Professor
Dr.
Robin
Hazlett.
Dr. Hazlett.
Your new apprentice, by the way.
I totally feel like she's going to join the show when she gets here on campus in a couple of months. She'll
Yeah,
just-
it'll be fun.
And I'll step out so I can go sleep more or whatever.
You're not allowed to step out.
Substitutes, one professor or
But
the
also
other.
to
What did she say, by the way?
so she said, if that means there are actually more than 15 games on the PS4, then heck yeah. She said in parentheses, I still love my PS4, promise. And on that note, she's right. I mean, the more games that we can get to the Sony platform, the better.
Right.
Obviously, I haven't felt like I haven't had enough games to play. In large part, I think probably just due to the fact that I'm playing Battlefield with friends. If I didn't have that multiplayer option, I probably would feel that same way. And so I think it depends on the type of games that you're into and interested in. By the end of the year, I think lack of games will be a non-issue. We have a ton of stuff coming out this year. But
I just
Tori
heard your stomach
D.
growl.
So, yeah, that was mine. Tori D at Shifty25 on Twitter said, you know, I'm sure Sony's already working on plans to bring the
next
PS4 there. Oh, excuse me. Nope, he's talking about China, which we're going to get into in a
Well.
minute.
China?
Trying to see here.
This is awkward.
Yeah, his is about China. So I
Speaking
agree
of
with
China.
Dr. Hazlett. I think that if they can bring it to the console, it's gonna be a game that sells very, very well, regardless of whether the person at this point, I don't know that it would be a system seller, because I think if you were gonna buy a PS4, the motivations for most people at least, the motivations have already been there.
Right.
Had it come as a launch title for the PS4, it would have been a system seller. I mean,
I think
every
it's still
single
in
person that I
zone,
know,
though. I think it's still in that zone.
every single person that I know that has an Xbox One got it because they thought Titanfall looked so freaking cool.
Right.
Like the hype train for Titanfall was kind of
Making hay.
unprecedented.
Yeah, it was.
And whether the game's as good as it was expected to be or not is a question and a whole other different topic and discussion entirely. But the fact of the matter is, it would have sold gangbusters on the PS4,
Yep.
and EA lost a lot of
Yeah.
money.
I
on
still
that
think
deal.
they're in the zone, though. I think they're still in that realm of if and how they, if they could get that contract and that
Yeah.
exclusivity to change, that they could bring it back over to the, to the PS4. I think they're still in that zone where you could launch it and make those
And make money
console
back.
sales happen.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
But again, we're talking about just business. There may be so many hands tied that it'll never happen.
Yeah. Speaking of China,
I don't know if that
we're just
counts
going
as
to
a
jump
segue.
into
If you totally
I'll
screwed
be,
up a
I'll be
tweet.
damned if we aren't getting through both topics
Yes,
today.
go.
We're doing it. So, the title for this topic is Xbox One versus PS4. Sony dominates again in April and isn't letting up. But Xbox is headed to China. How will China change the field? So I put this out again to Twitter, and we got a couple responses back.
But let's set it up and just
So
let people know
so that people know. Yeah, absolutely.
China has always been close to
For the last 13 years.
outside consoles, right?
Yep.
So last 13 years you couldn't get anything in there, and so they've just opened that up recently in the last week or so. They said they were going to let these guys come in.
It's been
with these.
So basically, Microsoft made a deal with a television, cable company in China. I can't remember the name of the it's like Fit TV or something. That which sounds wrong.
Rock
but
the door.
Something to that effect. Anyway, it's a television company out of China that basically they've been able to say, hey, this isn't necessarily a gaming system. This is an entertainment system. It's a cable box. And so in September, Microsoft will have Xbox Ones available in China. This is a freaking massive market. There are 1 billion people that live in China.
Right.
How many of those people are I don't
afford a
the
box.
reality is I don't know the economics of China well enough to
Well, if
make
you only have one kid,
make
you can buy lots of
specific
stuff.
to make
Has to
specific
be male.
predictions on how the console will do, but I do know that
There's a lot of people.
1% of 1 billion people is 10 million. So if they can get 1% of the population of China to buy their console, they're looking at 10 million sales. That is a ton of people. But like, I don't know what kind of games the Chinese are playing. Like,
are they playing games?
So they have.
Well, they're
they have PC games. PC gaming is a thing there, and it's popular. I don't know what games they play. I don't know. Like, it's so weird because like, pretty close to China, you have Japan, and their game market is pretty easy to understand, right? Like
that noise.
You can see
Yeah,
what's
iPhones,
happening
right?
there.
I
You can
mean-
see what people are playing. You can see what they're into.
Just look on campus.
China, I have no idea. But mobile gaming and PC gaming is big there. So I don't know. I mean, do you see this being something that kind of shakes up the console race?
Well, I don't know if it shakes the race because Xbox One gets in and does their thing, even if they do it for 6 months, whatever token they get. PlayStation will be right behind them. Sony will come in right behind them and do the same thing.
How long do you think it'll take PlayStation to get in there?
I don't think it'll take that long. 6 months to a year or less. And I don't.
Probably
There's
right.
the biggest question is that they can't. There's still a lot of. I was trying to find the article, like in the part of the article where it says the games won't be allowed to have X, Y, and Z. That's what's going to be difficult
Yeah,
for those games.
absolutely.
It's not just I mean, it will become an entertainment box for connecting to a cable system more so than playing games because just about every game is going to fall under this filter of violence,
Censorship.
obscenity, drug use, gambling. I mean, no GTA over there. I just
Right.
don't see it happening.
Darn.
You know, even where does Battlefield or Titanfall, any of those, where do they fall within the violence realm? So because of those things, it may very well end up being nothing more than a console for like a Roku box, like to watch stuff.
Not only that, but I feel like if Sony does join that market, then it's a better console box. It's a better entertainment system, anyways.
Yeah.
I think it is. So
I agree.
I mean,
It's built for that.
I know, right? So
I-
there's no way.
I don't know. I agree with you that it's it'll be
They're
nice
trying.
for them. They're going to make some
They're
money on it.
trying.
Bottom line,
They will.
There's not a lot of people over there that can afford it. Out of the billions of people, there's not that many that can afford it. But it's going to be the ones that are already playing games on their mobiles or have iPhones or things that can play games already.
Right.
They'll pick it up and they'll probably end up playing like Dance Dance Revolution or something sad like that. I don't know.
So this is where
Sorry,
Tori D
Animal Crossing?
Ouch.
at
Ouch.
Shifty
True.
at Shifty25. So do you know this guy?
No,
At Tori D?
I
Because he
don't.
retweeted your flower pick.
He's just a Rachel fan.
So he said, so shout out first of all, and thanks for listening. Thanks for
Yes.
tweeting at us.
Yay.
He
See,
said it's really up in
you
the air
can
due to the
mention.
crazy restrictions the Chinese government has put on the type of games
Right.
allowed,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
He also said, I'm sure Sony is already working on plans to bring the PS4 there as well. So
Gotta be right behind
he kind of reflected our thoughts on that, and
Actually, I reflected his. He started it.
that's true. So thanks for the talking points. Yeah, it'll be really interesting, I think, to see what happens over the next couple of months as far as China and gaming are concerned. I do think if Microsoft's there, it's going to be really hard for them to keep Sony out of there.
Right.
You're looking at 6 months to a year, and the reality is that where it matters, which is pretty much everywhere else, Sony's dominating.
Stomach growled again.
Like while they could sell a lot of systems there, like if they're censoring all the games make more money for the consoles typically than the systems themselves do. So
And that's what's going to change over there, just because I think the games are going to be so restricted and so held back.
right,
that
and I
you
don't
can't
think
save
they have a
money.
price point for it yet. Like
Right.
the reality is it could end up after fees and different things being, it could end up
Not
being
worth it.
$100, $200, $300 more expensive in China than it is comparatively here. So
Maybe we should start a LittleBigKast China version.
I
Our
don't-
little my little girl speaks Chinese.
TBA.
there we go.
Yeah, she could.
Stay
be
tuned.
Baba Cha Wing Ta.
Anyway, so
I made that up.
I gotta just say, we made it through all of the topics that we had listed.
Hurrah!
Yay.
That's
That never happens.
a new thing
Literally
for us.
never.
So welcome to the first episode of the Little Big Cast where we finish everything.
That's what we get.
Took 11 episodes to get one.
But we did
completed.
it, guys.
Congratulations, everybody. Now what?
So yeah, here's
Trophy.
Can I say
accomplished.
something really quick though?
Please
So completely irrelevant from Sony news, but they have released a remake of Ruby and Sapphire for Pokemon on the 3DS.
I did see that. Yeah.
So we know what you'll be doing. for
So
the
that'll be when that decides to happen. Because you said Japan, and I was like, oh.
That's
And then you said
Rachel's
Animal
Starcraft.
Crossing, and then
Oh,
you're
yeah.
like, oh.
Yeah, I did. I mocked her. I'm
So
sorry.
that's a thing that's going to be a thing. So if you're into that thing,
Yes, join
coming.
Rachel
It's
in
happening.
Pokemon.
Pokemon is Rachel's Starcraft.
oh, almost.
Yes.
It is her
I can see
dangerous
Colin,
crack
Right?
cocaine.
See, but you
Colin
guys don't
sick.
get it. Like, I'm like that with the most simple of games. I can't do MMOs. I can't do League of Legends. My cat will die. I will die. Everything will be down. It'll
This is
just.
why we don't have children.
It just won't. It just won't.
Yeah,
It's true
I hear
though.
you.
Like I will be that
Safety.
person on the news. Like starved to death. Forgot to eat. 3 days.
Oh,
Like
That's
it really
hilarious.
will.
Wow.
I just can't.
Maybe somebody needs to come and help, like take care of you. Like you see the butler. That's a part
There
of
you
our
go.
Patreon levels. We
I
need a
think of
butler.
that episode of
Alfred.
South Park where they play World of Warcraft.
We need you to have an Alfred.
I
Yes.
wish. I
Yes.
just want a robot, like the Fallout robot.
There you go.
There you go.
That'd be cool.
Right.
That'd be sweet.
Nate,
Very cool. So this has been
That's
episode 11.
welcome. Thank you.
Of the Little Big Cast.
Don't say.
Make sure you follow us at LittleBigKast on Twitter, and you can email us at LittleBigKast@ktdata.net.
That sounds right.
Yarp.
Anyway, I'm Jeff Hawks, at Jeff Hawks on Twitter. With me is Rachel.
That's me. Just don't worry about it.
It's
Just follow
We'll put
me.
it in
It's kind of tough to find.
It's around.
Go to
Pirate Rachel with an E instead of a.
With a 3 instead of an E.
Pirate.
That's because I made a Twitter account when I was like 12, and I did Pirate Rachel spelled like normally, and then I never used it, and I forgot everything. So then I turned like 15, and I was like, all right, let's just make this a 3.
I like it. I think it's cool. It's like Parzival from Ready
There you
Player
go.
One, and nobody knows how to spell his either.
Yep.
And Drew,
Night 20. It's been good.
follow us, comment at us, and let us know what you're thinking. And if there's anything you want us to discuss, let us know. We'd
Do
be
it
happy
too.
to bring it up. And again, shout out to the people that participated in the conversation today. To Tori D at Shifty25
Thanks,
and
Shifty.
Robin Hazlett. Thank you
Yes.
for joining us for the conversation today. Have a good one, people. Later.
Good night. Bye.
Ciao. I loved that ending last week.
Night. Night.
That's all. Adios or revoir.